Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a story time video, so grab a snack, grab a coffee, grab a tea, grab a drink and enjoy, because this is going to be a longer video than my usual videos. I never really go past like 12 minutes, so this could be 20, this could be 30, it depends. I like to talk a lot, so I just wanted to share a bit more about my background and my story. I actually started my business at the age of 22. Both businesses, both OSoCurly and UKCurlyGirl. I started off being self-employed at 22 years old, which sounds crazy now because I'm now 29. My whole 20s I've basically been on this journey of discovery and entrepreneurship and trying to grow my businesses and become financially free so that I can live life in my 30s and 40s with no worries. That's been my goal, and that is what I've been working towards since the age of 22. So we're going to rewind back to the very beginning of where it all started. I can't really tell you what, this was what was planned for me. I feel like it was more in my destiny that I became an entrepreneur. I didn't grow up thinking I was going to be an entrepreneur. I didn't grow up around entrepreneurs, so I'm not really quite sure where it come from. I'm just going to say it could be a gift from God, so I'm very blessed in that way. It's not been easy at all. Still isn't easy to this day, but I do really love what I do. So let's just get straight into it. And if you have any questions further on my journey, leave them down below in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and let's just get into it. The journey of entrepreneurship begins in primary school. I have this memory of being in primary school, and I must have been in year 4, I want to say year 4 at the time. So this is maybe like 2001, the latest. At the time, for some reason, I don't know if it was just in my class, in my circle of friends, but I was like one of the only one that had a printer at home or computer at home with internet as well. So at the time, song lyrics was a big thing. I know it sounds really crazy to those who are younger that may not get it. Like, having access to song lyrics was something that was hard to get, because if you think about it, you only hear the songs first of all through the radio or on TV, unless you go into a store and physically buy a CD, and that's where you would find the lyrics. You would get them, the exact lyrics from the artist. It would be in the little like booklet that came in the CD, for those who would remember, or the tape cassette. They would have the lyrics written out there. So not a lot of people had access to them. And with the internet, there were a few websites like, I don't know if this was the one back then, but I remember A to Z lyrics and websites and blogs like that would have like the favourite songs that were out at the minute, the lyrics for them. And for some reason people wanted it, and I probably wanted them too. So what I would do is I would say, hey guys, like, I'm saying it as if I remember, but in my head I feel like I must have just been like, oh, if you want lyrics, let me know the songs. I think I even had a list and I would write down what songs people wanted. And then I'd go home, ask to use the printer and print out the lyrics, staple them together and give them out to people who asked for them. And I think I charged like 10 to 20, maybe 50p. I doubt 50p, that would have been a lot back then. Maybe like 10, 5, 20p. And that was like my little school hustle that I can remember, the first thing I remember. Moving on again to do with music, I was really big on my music. I'm not too much right now, but like when I was younger, music was just everything to me. Like I think a lot of like early 2000s and 90s babies, music was just like what you grew up on, everything, because we didn't have social media, we didn't have YouTube, so listening to music was like the entertainment, and watching music videos on TV was entertainment for us. So music was a big thing for us back then. So anyway, I had got a gift for Christmas one of the years, I want to say maybe it was 2005 or 2006. I got the iPod, but it was like the new iPod at that time, and it had like videos, so you could play music videos on the iPad. So it was like iPod. Yeah, so it was like a big thing. Not everyone had them. It was like getting the newest iPhone. And obviously my music taste was A1. I had all the links. I used LimeTree. I had all the websites where you would find the new launches, the exclusives, the remixes. That would be me on a Friday, like checking the blogs to see what's new, and I would rip it and put it on my iPod. A lot of people wanted to listen to the tunes on my iPod, so I would rent out my iPod for the day for about £5, I want to say, maybe £3 to £5, I can't remember exactly, but £5 stands out to me. And I would just be anxious all day, praying that no one dropped my iPod, because that would be it for me. I would be finito when I got home. So yeah, that was my second side hustle. And then when I grew older, I went to college and stuff, I obviously had to get a job at 17. My mum was like, nope, you need to get a job, we need money. So I had to get a job at 17, and I was working in retail. So I worked at a bunch of places from the age of 17 to 22. I worked for 5 years. I worked at Mamas and Papas, Game, H&M, the uni shop. I worked at an ice rink for one Christmas. I can't even remember some of the places that I worked at, but I worked at loads of different retail stores. But in between that, when I was going to uni, I wanted to get into nails. So again, I was thinking of another business to start. Back then we was college kids, we were young. I think we got like our £30 EMA. Can't remember if it was £20 or £30 EMA a week. Remembers EMA. And that would be like amazing. It's like pocket money every week. College will pay you to go to college, so that money comes into your account. And we were straight to McDonald's and straight to Zara after college in Croydon. I swear I would buy like a new pair of jeans every week with that EMA money. I should have saved it, but you know, we learn. I wanted to make some more money, so I had bought myself on eBay the kit to do acrylic nails, because obviously we didn't have money like that to be getting our nails done as frequent, and everyone wants to save a bit of money back then. But I thought, what if I just charge people like £10-20? It must have been £10 that I was charging, or 15, to come and get their nails done. However, that business closed within, I want to say, a week or a month, because first of all, the smell. Obviously we didn't have ventilation. I didn't have a mask. It was strong. My mum complained a lot that, yeah, it just stank, and it's an art. Like, it's not as easy as it looks. I thought after years of getting them done I would know how to do it, which I kind of did, but it's still an art. So that didn't last long. And then obviously went to uni. I studied film and television at uni. Before that, I had after school, in school, let's just go back to year 7, so hiring out my iPod, doing my GCSEs, and technology was my favourite lesson. I loved technology. I loved the teacher. She was young, she was like up to date on things. I just really looked up to her, and she was so smart, like when it came to technology. So within technology, I think we covered like oh no, there was a lesson for media and then a lesson for technology, but I really liked the technology stuff. I can't remember exactly what we did, but I really enjoyed that lesson, and she really inspired me because she saw something in me. In both my technology and my media, teachers saw that I was passionate about the media industry, and I just knew I wanted to go into something within media. The Brit School wasn't too far from where I was living at the time, and they had like a 2-year course that you take before you go to uni, and I really wanted to get into media. So I thought, if I get into the Brit School in media, that's going to make me look like, you know, even more attractive to employees, and I'm going to learn more skills there. I went to a lot of different colleges and they had facilities, but the Brit School had their own radio station, their own TV little station, studio. They had it all. The radio is what really got me, because obviously I loved music and I wanted to be on radio as well. So the Brit School was great education wise. I didn't quite like the experience. I didn't feel like I fit in well within the people around me. I didn't quite like the Brit School, unfortunately, but it taught me a lot. Like, I learned a lot. I learned how to edit at the Brit School. Oh my god, how could I forget? Like, I learned Final Cut Pro at the Brit School to a high level, to that when I went to uni, I feel like I already knew a lot from just learning editing at the Brit School. So yeah, I thank the Brit School for that, because I now edit my own videos pretty much all the time, unless I use an editor. But I know how to do it myself, like it's very easy to me. That's what got me into media. And then after uni, 3 years of uni at Hertfordshire University in Hatfield, I had been relaxing my hair. So if you don't know my natural hair journey, definitely go back to my old videos and have a look for a natural hair journey video where I talk about it. But I had been relaxing my hair, straightening my hair. It was super damaged, bleaching it, everything. So when I finished uni, I wanted to kind of explore this whole natural hair journey and get to know my curls. And at the time, I won't go too much into it because that's a whole other story, but you know, there wasn't many UK girls on YouTube sharing their experience. At that time also, when I graduated, so I was living at uni, my mum was managed to get a 1-bed apartment. I wasn't making money like that, so I had to stay with her, but I had to sleep on the sofa bed. So I kind of touch on this here and there, but it was a very difficult time for me at the time. Like mentally, I was going through a lot. There was a lot of things going on in my personal life. I was working to make money, not enjoying what I was doing. So I managed to luckily get some internships at like MTV and stuff, but when I got there, I really didn't enjoy it. It wasn't what I had dreamed it to be, and I started to realise that, okay, this isn't actually what I want to do. Oh, the other business I started was like my own, kind of like my own SBTV. So I decided to make a series blog called Go Getter Media, where I would like interview different people like around my area, or just like locals in different fields, music, film, all different, you know, entertainment sectors. That didn't last long either because I lost interest. I'm a Gemini, so if I lose interest, I won't do it. Like I've quit so many jobs, I've walked out of so many jobs without a care in the world, because I just knew, okay, something else will come. Whilst living on the sofa bed, I was working night shifts at Tesco. Let's rewind a bit, because when I was at MTV internship, which was from about 9 to 5, I would go to Tesco. So let's rewind again. Okay, so finishing uni, was finding it hard to find a job, so I signed on. So if you're watching this and you're not from the UK, signing on basically is when you go to a job centre and the government, they try to help you find a job. So they give you money every week or every month. I think it was every 2 weeks maybe. They give you like, I think it's like £200 or something, and then during that time you're meant to be finding a job. But back then you had to sign on at the job centre. I think it was every week or every other week. So they'd give you this little book and you'd have to like write down, I've applied for this job, that job. You'd speak to a job advisor and they'd say like, oh, we've got this job, would you be interested in this? And if anyone who's signed on before, signing on now, you'll know like that feeling, a bit of like humiliation. They can really like look down on you and talk to you as if you're a child. So I didn't really like that experience, but they managed to find a job. The only job that I managed to get, surprisingly as a graduate, was working in a new Tesco. If you guys know the big Tesco in Streatham, I used to work there in the clothing department. So when it first opened, we actually opened the store, and I would work there. At first I was doing mornings, then I was doing evenings. Once I got the MTV internship, I asked them if I could start from 6 till I think maybe 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 4-hour shift was usual. So yeah, 6 till 10, and then I go to bed, wake up for 9. It was a lot. And then once the internship was over, I didn't get offered a job, and to be fair, I didn't really push or wasn't bothered in trying to chase that avenue, so I just let it go. Then I decided I need to make money because I wanted to do so much. I wanted to travel. Like I had this desire to go to Miami because I'd always wanted to go to Miami, so I needed money for that. Like I needed to save money if I wanted to go to Miami for my birthday with my best friend. I decided that I would do night shifts because I don't have a job in the day. I'm not really doing much in the day anyway, except for being at home, which wasn't good for my mental health. So I thought, okay, you know what, let me do night shifts. Night shifts was double pay, and I think even triple pay on like the Christmas holidays and stuff. And you could listen to music, like they'd play music, in the because the shop was pretty much empty, so they'd play music in the back when you're in the warehouse, which is what I would do. You're just unpacking clothes, pretty much like what I do now, unpacking clothes, hanging them up, tagging them, so you could put in your headphones, and that was perfect for me. Listen to my music, get through the night, get paid double pay, hop on the bus home. People are getting on the bus to go to school while I'm going home, so it was a bit of a mind mess because you felt jet lagged all the time. It's been nearly 20 minutes and I'm still on the beginning, so yeah. Anyway, whilst I was working at Tesco, I had like the inspiration and the spark because I had started my natural hair journey and I was posting images on Instagram, and I realised, you know what, not a lot of UK girls are doing this. I'm gonna start and I'm gonna be that UK girl, which is why I call myself UKCurlyGirl. So that's how UKCurlyGirl came about. So I started my Instagram and my YouTube channel, and the spark came to me, I think around I want to say the 1st of January of that year, but around the beginning of the year, I was on the sofa bed and it just came to me, and I was like, I got a notepad and I wrote down everything, and I was like, yes, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So that's how the idea came to me. Definitely a blessing. Going up and down the Tesco aisle and never finding anything for my hair type. So no wide tooth combs, no satin bonnets, no satin pillowcases, none of the spray bottles or stuff that these American girls were saying was like really good for their hair. So I thought, what if I started my own hair accessories company? I didn't want to do hair products. I felt like there were so many hair products that I love anyway that it wasn't a gap that was needed for me. Whereas the accessories, I felt like I could really enjoy the products and it's something that was needed. As I was growing in the industry, in the hair industry, on social media, the natural hair scene, I was getting more followers, I was getting like engagement. I had my own little like family of girls that were really engaged in what I was doing. They loved everything I posted. I managed to get a brand ambassadorship role at ORS where they gifted us with like products all the time. We'd get to go to events. We went to the Beyonce concert. It was really, really good, and that to me was like, you know what, Shannon, you're gonna go far in this niche. You're gonna go far in this industry. You've got something. People are catching on. So I decided, instead of just being an influencer, I want to have something of my own too. So I created a beanie. That was like the first product. So if you're watching this and you bought that, thank you so much. It was a simple plain black beanie that said curly on it, embroidered, which I got made in China via Alibaba. I'm sure I've told this story before. Went to Curlfest, which isn't around anymore, but it was like a convention event every year here in London called Curlfest, and all of the hair vendors would come, like your Shea Moisture, Hairfinity at the time, oh my god, Curlformers, they would all be there, and it was like you'd get deals on the products. If you were a blogger, you could exchange your business cards. Oh my god, why do I feel emotional? Wow. I did a lot, like I networked there, I met other bloggers and stuff. I'm telling you all of this, guys, is just to show you like these little things really add up to your journey. Like the relationships I've managed to make at these events, and going back and forth on the train. I didn't drive, I've only been driving for like 2 years. I was on the train always, but really enthusiastic and loving what I was doing, and that's what's led me to where I am today. So I'm so proud of my past self. So if you're watching this and you're like 22, 23, go through the motions. Don't always think of the money. During that time I wasn't getting paid for anything really and truly, hardly anything. Like I managed to start getting brand deals, but it was maybe like £100 here or there, £50 here and there, and I was just so happy. The beanie hat I started to sell on Instagram, and I began the OSoCurly page on Instagram, but I wouldn't tell anyone who was behind it. So only a few people knew that it was me. Americans and people from the internet didn't know it was UKCurlyGirl's brand. The beanie hat then was actually meant to be a satin lined beanie. When I tell you, like, I went through so much trying to get this beanie satin lined. I know it sounds silly because it's pretty easy to do, but I'm not a seamstress. A lot of seamstresses didn't know how to do it, and I was just like, come on, it's not hard, just sew the satin into the beanie. But there was so many complications the satin wasn't the right satin. And remember, I'm starting from scratch. I've got no experience in business, no experience in fabrics. I didn't know anything. Google and actual face-to-face research, going into Gumtree, finding experts, finding seamstresses, finding fabric shops in my local area. I had no clue. I was starting from real scratch. I remember my boyfriend at the time, I got him to like drive me around London and find these fabric shops to find satin that I thought could be used for like scrunchies or any kind of products that I wanted to bring out. Crazy. I just was so relentless with it. I didn't give up. I just kept going. So that's what then led me to make the reversible satin pillowcase, which again is in a past story on my channel, so I won't get into it that way. But the reversible satin pillowcase came. Then we had these spray bottles that I bought from AliExpress, and they like were flat. It was a trend at the time, so they flat and then they like get bigger when you fill it with water. For some reason that was like the trend at the time. Then we had satin scrunchies. I would walk, get on the train, get on the bus, go back and forth to a local seamstress who would create like 3 or 5 at a time, and then I'd be back next week like, can you do 10? And she'd be like, oh, I can't do 10. And it's like, oh my god, I got these customers waiting. Then we grew, and I managed to find a huge like manufacturer outside of London, so I had to get on the coach from Victoria, travel up there, meet them in person, check out the factory, see if they could do what I would do at an affordable price. Guys, like, it's all a blur. My 20s have been crazy. Looking back at everything I've done, it's like, wow. I just hope this inspires you guys to just keep going. This is 7 years in the making. So, I'm still at the beginning. My goals are, if I look at my journey, we're still in like chapter 1. So let me just state that. Another part that I just want to mention as well is my travel experience. So you'll see that I traveled a lot during my entrepreneur experience. So the first traveling I did obviously was Miami. That was more for like bucket list and being young and just wanting to experience America. I'd been as a child, but I never got to go to Miami. It was always a dream of mine. So actually the first year that I went to Miami, I held a meet and greet. I don't think I had more than 10,000 followers at this point, and I had a meet and greet in another country with strangers, and there was like 4 of them, and they really came to support. Like, looking back at that makes me want to cry as well. I'm gonna try and find some pictures, but I did that. And then I was at Lisbon. I'd met these owners of a hair brand that worked from Lisbon, and they invited me to come to Lisbon. So I was just here, there, everywhere. Miami, Lisbon, then I went to New York. I went to a hair event out in New York. I met with the New York curly girls that I'd met through Instagram. I went to Shea Moisture. They invited me to come to their like headquarters. I was sitting in the headquarters of Shea Moisture. I got to see the behind the scenes of where they fulfill the orders. I got to see where they mix the orders. Oh my god, guys, I've done so much. Oh my god, crazy. I might just do a story time on that whole experience in general. There was that, and then I got to go to Cal Fest in Brooklyn in New York. That was another experience. Shea Moisture had sponsored me to go out there, and wow, they like wanted me to cover the event on their socials. Crazy. Again, another crazy experience. So yeah, I've just done a lot of traveling. I'm so blessed to be like able to travel and just do my passion as well. So throughout those years, I was growing my brand, growing the business, traveling, and things have kind of calmed down the last few years because I've really just been trying to learn more about business and really focusing on how I can really grow the brand and collaborate with others and reach my goals. That is the journey. It's been a long one. I think this video is going to be like half an hour. So in the last few years we managed to gain funding. You'll see in a past video I talked about my travels to Macedonia and to Italy to find fabric. Things have just been so fast the last few years. I'm just like, I can't even remember, but that was a really good like in-depth story into like how things got started. And like I said before, this is just chapter number 1. There's so much more to come. But I hope this video kind of gave you an insight into more about me. If you have any further questions, leave them down below, or more you'd like me to share. Subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.